There you go. You're focusing. Good job. Okay. So let's all put this data in real quick. Stat, edit. We clear out these lists. Clear. Oops. Hit clear, Jeff. Clear. Try to get a balance between this. So everybody just put this data in. Please let me know if you need some help. Hopefully we're all able to put data in, but if that's not true, let me know. Okay. Now, how many variables is this? How many variables is, you're going to get this wrong maybe, but how many variables are there up here?
8.
No, that's how many values, how many data points. How many questions did I ask to get those answers? 1. What's your bowling score, right? There's one variable up here with 8 values. Do you guys see that? If I was going to make a list, wouldn't I just do it like we just did? And then just one column, so that is one variable. Is everybody cool with that? If I had one set of data was bowling score, and another set of data was age, and I was trying to see how they relate, that would be 2 variables. Bowling score and age. I don't have that shit, I just have bowling scores. That's one variable. Does everybody understand that? Why can a variable have many values? That's what the hell we call it a variable for. So that is one variable with 8 different values. What the hell am I making a big point of it? Because watch, if you hit stat, calc. I want to calculate something now with my variables. Which one of those makes sense? Based on what I just made a huge deal out of. Yes, I want to get the one variable statistics. I want them to calculate all the statistics for this one variable. Now, if you have an older calculator, does it just say 1 bar stats on the screen? Anybody? A few of you guys? You just hit enter because it defaults to list 1. Me, I got to make sure it says list 1 here. Don't worry about the freaky list. And then I calculate. So let's see if everybody gets this. Assuming I put my data in correctly. Anybody, you want me to do that again? Is everybody? Yeah. Okay. So hit stat. Calc. 1 bar stats. Just to remind you guys, there is a calculator guide up on the website you can download that tells you all the steps. You're not allowed to use it during a test. But I sure as hell have it sit next to me for homework. Just get used to everything. 1 bar stats. If it just says 1 bar stats on your screen, just hit enter. It defaults to list 1. If you want to do it for list 2, put list 2 in. Me, I gotta go, okay, it's got L1, sweet, and then I get these. Is that cool? Does anybody need help? Just let me know. Don't feel embarrassed. Get that shit out the way. You want to do good on the test. Screw embarrassed. Yes? Oh, all right, so what this means is you're doing, oh yeah, did you put data in?
Yeah.
Oh, look, you got very weird stuff going on.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, you have to do setup editor if your list doesn't look like normal.
Okay.
So now when you go back in, there's your L1.
Thank you.
Sure. Ah, okay. Good. Make sure it turns on.
Yeah.
Yes. Push over to Cal. There you go. And you want 1 more stats. Yeah, so yours just like me. Just hit enter. Enter. Because you're doing it to list 1. Go ahead. There you go. Sweet. All right, what do you guys see right there? Whoa.
There.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, clear all that stuff out. So go up to list 1, hit clear. Enter. Go to list 2, do the same thing. I like it. Okay. Oh, my calculator's getting tired. Whoop. Oh, shit. There you go. What do you guys see up there? Obviously, the first thing is the mean. It's going to assume it's a sample. If it's a population, you don't hold it against the poor calculator for the next bar. You say to yourself, I'm the human in this situation. I know it's mu. Right? Calculator assumes it's a sample because that's what it almost always is. So don't be concerned. Why is it not putting a mu? Because it doesn't know shit. It's a stupid calculator. What's this? Yeah, so if I take 1002 divided by 8, I would get 125.25. Cool. What's up with these?
The sample.
Yeah, so I didn't say it, but this is a sample of scores, right? So this is a sample of scores. It gives me both, because again, what did it say? Does it know if it's a sample or a population? No, it doesn't know. So it just gives us both. So I got to pick the right one. Don't pick sigma because that's better. If this is a sample, you have to use S. Is that? Can't shoot. Look, it's got sigma. No, that's if it's a population, I can use that. If it's not, I have to use S. It's going to give you both because it's a poor little stupid calculator. I keep talking bad about it. It's going to stop working right. What's started happening right here? What looks like it's going to happen here? If I scroll down, I'm going to get the 5 flipping number summary. 90, 106, 135, 143, 144. Holy shit. I know there's somebody out there right now going, why the hell are we doing all that shit? I just got it right there. Because getting this doesn't teach you anything. Button pressing is not being taught. This is a great way to check your work. You can see very quickly if something looks wrong, and you can go see what's wrong with it. As long as you put the data in there correctly. Is there a question? I'm sorry. Yep, so it's that. Calc, so we'll go over to calc. And one variable statistics, you want that one. So that's what you want to enter. Or you can hit 1, 2, either way. So you got it just like me, L1. So you enter, get down to calculate. Go ahead, enter, calculate. And now you got the same stuff. I like it a lot. Okay. Yes?
So how about if you want to find the mode of analysis?
That one you just have to do on site. What's the mode? The one that occurs the most. What would the mode be for this? 144. It's not going to calculate for that. Yeah. So, calculator's like, come on, just look at which one happens the most. Any questions on that? At the moment, you don't have to know how to do that. But you can see right now how it's useful. After test 1, I will never make you do a standard deviation of a list of data with the table. I'm going to just get it out of the calculator. You will be doing tables for other distributions. But if they give you a list of data, I'm not going to make you do it by hand. I'm going to let you just grab it out of here. Why? Because that's going to be step 1 of an 8-step problem. So let's get that shit done quick. Right? Okay. But on the homework for this first test, and on the first test, I better see the work. I don't want to just see it appearing out of nowhere. I told you what buttons I press. No. I need the table. Because you've got to get it in your head where this thing comes from. Then you'll understand it better. Is the hope. All right. All right, that's cool. Let me give you the answer key for this practice test. Anybody still need a practice test? Anybody come in after I ask that? All right, so here's the answer key. Please, I don't know if I said this already. Don't do this. Yeah. I would have done that. So the same thing happens when you're in class, the same kind of complaint. I understand it when you're saying it, and then I go home, I can't do or shit. So false confidence. Looking at this and going, I would have done that. I mean, that's building false confidence. You're going to suck on the test. So don't even look at this thing unless you've tried the practice test problems. Yes? Yeah. It's my last one. I feel in trouble.
I'll just put my answer to that.
Your simulator, it starts out high, and then you take your decrease, that's when you're done.
Can you give one of those to, yes. Make that work. Considering I am only human, it is very possible there's a mistake on here somewhere. I didn't do anything on purpose. I don't try to do that to you. But if you think you did something right and you're like, well, you got a different answer, then bring it up. I forgot I did say I was going to do G in class, but oh well. That's the box plot thing. So if you guys want to try that right now, you can do that in a little bit. G on number 1. I didn't put it down on the answer key because I ran out of room. This is unbelievably neat for me. I can't. Some of you guys are like, this is, you should know, but this is really, really neat writing. By this point, you've seen my writing, so you know this is neat for me. All right, so now it's wide open. I'll do 1G here in a bit, but I just want to see any other questions from anything. Homework, practice tests, quizzes, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. So, one big mistake on the histogram is the histogram is for quantitative data, truly numerical. All right, truly numerical. So, the scale and the rectangle, there should be no gaps. Otherwise, it looks like I missed some data points or something. So you always have to, in fact, if my data goes from 29 to 144 or something, this would be 28.5, right? If you do it the book way. If you do the inequality way, you can just put the whole numbers there. Blah, 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 blah. But you don't, there can't be a gap. What does a gap mean? If there was this, what would that mean? There's no data points in there. That's the only time you want a gap to show up between your rectangles, is that means there is no data there. So you can't label this 20.5 to 40.5 or something. You can't label it. This is a true scale. So you put 20.5, 40.5, whatever the hell.
But when you have like 3 cars, 4 cars, or whatever, when it's whole numbers, like it's not really
Beautiful. You could either do 2.5 to 3.5 means 3. Yes. Or you could do this. This bar means 3. This bar means 4. Look, midpoints.
But still one next to each other.
If you put 3 and then 4, what the hell bar is that? That doesn't tell me what that is. So you either do this, which really means it's 3s because I know it's whole number data. Or you do this, which means that's the label kind of for this, but it still numerically makes sense. It's still got a scale to it. You make it midpoints. So yeah, the answer key in the book is often not the right way to do it. You got to be careful. Don't just copy from there. Yes. Always equal to, yes, oh, close. If you round, it might come off a little bit, but if you get 97%, that's too far away. You missed something. Or you get 104%, whoa, you created people or something. Right? Yes?
What we should put left line?
Oh, it depends. I mean, what are the 2 things that could be the label here? Relative frequency or just frequency? That's the only two words I want to see here.
So we can put on 1, 2, 3.
No. If it's relative frequency, it might be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, right? If it's frequency, it could still be 3, 6, 9. It just depends on the data. And you never want to make a histogram that looks like this. Not just because one of them is a trapezoid, but I mean, what the shit? Look at all that room you didn't use to really kind of help me see the differences. Don't do that to me. Don't go up to 100% all the time. That makes no sense. Why would you go up that high if nobody ever gets anywhere near that? The highest one is 30. Make that 30. Use the room. Don't go, try to see that. Yes?
Last question. About the classroom, so how can I know that classroom to decide if we classify them to 5 classes?
Oh. What's the least number of classes you can choose? 5. What's the most you can choose? 10. And you choose the hop towards 10 when you have a lot of data, like 500 data points maybe. We're always going to have very few. So we almost always want to use 5 or 6. If you use 7, that's okay. If you use 9, I'm going to have to say something and take something off. I'm like, that's way too many. All right, so you don't want me dancing. Doing something that approximates this. Does that make sense? I mean, you choose the class, the number of classes, and then you calculate the class width. You got to show me that work. A lot of you guys just said, well, we need 5 classes and have it width of 10. That's what I want. No. You choose 5 classes, that forces the width to be something. You do the work. You don't get to choose everything. Something's got to be based on what the data is doing. And I don't care what happened to your stem and leaf plot. That's a separate question. You got to see the work for your class width. If you want it to be 10, figure out what makes it 10 and do that. That's great. You better show me how you got there. So if your class width comes out to 8.2, do you use 8.2? No, you use what? 9. If you round down, you'll need one more class than you said you wanted to use. Because if you round down, you're not going to get to the end of the data. You always round up. You want to overcover things. When I made that scale for the box plot, I went to 150. Even though the highest data point was 144, I just wanted to make sure everybody had a place within my scale, right? Same idea with the width. I round up to make things a little wider so everybody's got a place to go in the middle. All right, anything else? Anything on that quiz that you just got back or homework stuff? I didn't take your points off, but you normally don't put commas in stem and leaf plot. And you remember that key. I told you about the key.
Can you talk about like skews?
Oh, good. Beautiful. So that's a section that I kind of left up to you to look at. But here's the beautiful thing. What could you say about this? I'll tell you it's not skewed. How would somebody describe this? Normal. What's another way to describe this? Symmetrical. I love it. So you can call this normal. You can call it symmetrical. Now imagine it's a mound of taffy. Right? And I pull it. Let's say I pull it from here. I pull it. What's going to happen? It's going to look like this. I call this Jabba the Hutt graph. Sorry. No? Okay. If you don't know who Jabba the Hutt is, my geek heart is crying. Okay. You don't have to know Jabba the Hutt, okay? But this is if I pull it, which direction did I pull the taffy? I pulled it to the right, so this is skewed right. Which way does it look like somebody grabbed hold and why doesn't this move much? Because it's freaking taffy, right? Have you ever seen, you guys know what taffy is? I'm sorry, maybe you don't know what taffy is. You're like, he's culturally insensitive. I have no freaking clue what taffy is. But taffy is very stretchy, right? So if you grab and you pull it, it's just, you're going to get this thin string that comes out here and most of it's over here going, what's going on? Right? So that's skewed right because it looks like somebody pulled it to the right. So skewed left would be the mirror image of this, right? This would be skewed left. Yeah, let's make it even more. Wow. That's skewed left. I like it. Is that cool? Yes.
Yeah, and then like on the homework, it was talking about how like if the mean and the median are the same, that means it's like symmetrical. But like, what if it like provides you with the
No. So be careful. If it is symmetrical, then the mean will equal the median.
no matter what, like even.
But if the mean equals the median, it does not have to be symmetric. In fact, there's a problem that says, does this data look symmetric? And there's a whole bunch of sevens or whatever. The mean and the median are the same in that data they give you, but it's not symmetrical because it has a whole bunch of sevens, right? So it doesn't. So be careful about which way it is. If it's symmetrical, now watch. The mean would have to be right here, and the median would certainly be right there. And to be honest, the mode is there also. It's the highest point, so it's the mode also. So if it's perfectly symmetric, well, if it's normal, the mean equals the median equals the mode. If it's just symmetric, so is this symmetric? Wait, yeah. You're still doing the same thing. Wow. Is that symmetric? Yes, totally. Right? Because if I draw a line there, it's a mirror image. So the mean equals the median, but the mode, of course, is bimodal. Right? So if the mean equals if it's symmetric, then the mean equals the median. If the mean equals the median, it could be symmetric. There's a problem that shows you that. You calculate the mean, calculate the median, they're the same, but the data is obviously not symmetric yet. Just trying to make that point. I like it. Creaky classroom. I'm easily amused. I'm sorry. Nothing else from anything. So make sure everybody understands this. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, all the way to 2-7 homework is due Wednesday. Early's fine. If you turned it in already, you should have gotten back from me. Quiz corrections are due Wednesday to be on time, right? So you can turn homework in after Wednesday. You can turn quiz corrections in after Wednesday. They'll just be late. You get less credit for those.
Do you want us to like write on the corrections on the same paper?
For a quiz, normally it's good. You can just put it on the back and put corrected on the top and turn it in. For homework or tests, normally it's better to do it on another piece of paper because there's too much going on. Never erase original work. You correct it somewhere.
Are homework corrections due on Wednesday too?
Homework corrections are due on the day of the final. And so you can turn them in anytime you get them done because I want you keeping up with current homework, doing old homework when you can. I make the quizzes and tests due on the day of the next test just to keep those ideas alive and also because then you have a better gauge of your grade. Because those are the big effectors of your grade. Yeah.
So if you get like, even if it's above 80, you only get 5 points, and if it's below, you can do all of them, right?
I like that word only. Does every teacher ever add unless you make corrections?
No.
All right.
No.
Just be careful about saying only. Because I'll be like, oh, okay, I won't give you anything. So yeah, if you get an 80 or above, you get 5 points back. Up to 100. So if you got a 92, you get a 97. If you got a 97, you get up to 100. Anything below an 80, a point for every 4 you missed. Yeah, because if you got below an 80, you're doing more work. I want the number of points you do, you get to go up with that. Yeah. So I love it. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like the argument, that guy had to pay less taxes. Well, he made less money. That guy got more points than I did. Well, he made a lower grade than you. Next time, make a lower grade. Then you get more points. It doesn't make any sense. You can't get higher. If you made a lower grade, this person can't get higher than you unless you don't get that many corrections back, right? So don't. Are you guys with me on that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same stupid argument. He paid less taxes. He made less money. Shut up. He didn't have an offshore account either, so hey. Yes?
Section 2.4, just one plot of test number 90.
Number 90?
No, yeah. Like movies.
Oh, yeah. So this one is a little bit weird because, well, for me it's page 143, but it's number 90 in Chapter 2 homework.
Section 2.4.
So this one they give you It's right, right? No, it goes up to 4. Number of movies. This is the number of movies that
Frequency.
they watched. And here's the frequency.
59641.
So what 11 is if somebody makes a box plot and the box plot goes up to 9 or something. Okay, what mistake have they made? You make a box plot from this and it goes up to 9. That doesn't make any damn sense. What's my data? Where's my data? Where's my data? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how the shit would it go up to 9? That's not data. What does this 9 mean? There were 9 ones. So if you really wanted to, you could put 0, 0, 0, 0, 5 zeros. 1, 1. God. So let me show you a little bit better way. Let's do a piece of this, just to show you how this could work. Let's do Q3 real quick. You're going to have to do low, Q1, Q2, Q3 high, right? To get the box plot. So how many total data points are there?
25.
Yeah, so when you add this up, 14, 15, 25. So how do I find Q3? I'd have to take what percent of what?
75.
75% of?
25. 18.7.
18 point, whoop.
75.
There you go.
It's 19.
The 19th data point is the answer. 5th data point, 14th data point. Do you guys see?
Yeah.
The 5th data point is 0. The 14th data point is 1. The 20th data point is 2. So what's the 19th data point?
2.
2. Or you can write out the whole list if you want to, but dear God, let me know. Some of you guys get that right. 5 in, you're 0. 9 in, you're still at 1. No, 9 more, so 14. 20 in, you're at 2. So the 19th number must have been one of these freaking 2s. So Q3 would be 2. Or again, if you want, you can write out all 25 data values. You got 5 zeros, 9 ones, so forth, and then you just count into it. But this is already a count. Right? Why would you do that necessarily? But it's fine if you do. Nothing wrong with that. Is that cool?
Yeah, but I have some problem about that. I 0. I do it. Okay? Same as.
Sure. Oh, but wait. So how did okay, sure.
And for drawing, it's not correct because the minimum
What's
times-
Q1?
Q1
It's
is
1.
1.
So Q, the lowest is 0. Q1 is 1, so your box should start at 1.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Okay. That was a mistake. No, I'm not going to do that one because that's your homework. I will do the one from the practice test now, though, if you want me to. Okay. So, let me see. Okay. So let's see, the low and the high are easy. So this is number 1 for the practice test. Part G, the box plot. I say on the answer key, it's going to do it in class. Bless you. So what goes here? What do I have to figure out here? How do I figure out Q1?
25% of 25%.
Good. Q1, first quarter, 25%. 25% of the way in. And how long is my list of data? 15. They tell you at the top of the page. They being me.
Thank you.
15 days. So it's 50, a measurement a day. I like it. Let's see, so I want 25% of 15. Let me stop here for a second. Is everybody that's playing along okay so far? So I know the 5-number summary is what I need to figure out to get a box plot. Low, Q1, Q2, Q3, high. Q1, what do I do now that I got that for the first step?
It's the fourth.
Fourth number is the answer. What's the fourth number?
440.
40. Watch out, J4. Q1 is 40. How do I get Q2?
50%.
Yeah, it'd be 50% of 15, which is
7.5.
8 numbers the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody so far so good? Q3, you could be smart and go 4 in from the top is Q1, so 4 in from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4 is Q3. Or, if you do the steps, 75% of 15 is
12.25.
12.25. Is that right? 11.25. There it is. Which means take the 12th number, and guess what? That's the 12th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 52. So I get 29, 40, 45, 52, 63. So my scale does not need to have any data points in it. To be honest, they just have to fit inside of it. So I don't have to start at 29, I can start at 25, for example. And I want to get up to 65. Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
So what's a decent scale for that, maybe? 5s or 10s, or really? So if we do 5s, let's see, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, yay. 65, I want to get up to, right? 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Good job, Jim. All right. Then 29 will be here. 40 is right there. 45 is right there. And 52 is a little bit above 50. 63 is a little more than halfway there. Box the middle dudes. Whisker the outside dudes. Now what you get for your, what's your histogram look like? It should end up looking pretty normal, symmetric. Do you see how this looks pretty symmetric? All right, so there is going to be similarities between the histogram and this guy, because they both kind of are a relative count of how many data points are where. Okay, I like it, maybe. Do you have to know that to do the problems? No. It's just a neat thing to notice. Yes, sir. So when I ask you, tell me what something is, you give me the highest value it is, the highest ranking. So like, nominal is the lowest. It's the most basic form of data. Those are just what? Nominal is just. Some of you guys seem to think nom sounds like num, so you're like, that's numbers. No, nominal is completely the opposite of numbers. They are pure names. What kind of numbers do they include? They include social security numbers. No order to them, just your name, right? Zip codes, those aren't really numerical. They're names of locations. We just chose to use numbers to name them, right? Yeah, the low, Q1, Q2, Q3 high. 5 numbers that summarize the data. Cool. And then the box plot is what we make off of that. Ordinal is named data that happens to also, have an order it wants to be in. And there's a difference there. If I list something in alphabetical order, it does not mean it's ordinal. Does it have to be in alphabetical? The name of cars in the parking lot, do they have to be in alphabetical order? If I said, well, I saw a Ford and a BMW, and B comes before you, dumbass, no. I could put them alphabetical. Do they need to be? No. But if I'm like, rank me, fair, poor, excellent, good, I'm like, well, no, there's got to be an order there, right? So ordinal is names that have to be in a certain order to make sense. Those are the two qualitative stuff. And then you get into interval and ratio, which are the truly quantitative stuff. Because interval is all about being able to...
You need to add and subtract.
subtract. Differences make sense. So can I subtract 2 zip codes? Yes. Does the answer mean anything? No. See, that's why that's only nominal. It's not interval. I can subtract them, but does the answer mean something? No. What about ages? Does the answer mean something? If I subtract 2 ages, does it mean something physically?
Yes.
Yes. It tells you how far apart we were born, right? But it's not. But age is not just interval because you could do more to it. So on some people's quizzes, I put more, and you're like, you want more words? What? No. You could do more with it. It's a higher level. So age would be ratio, because ratio is all about being able to ratio and divide, and it makes sense. So if somebody is 15 and somebody else is 45, 45 divided by 15 is, I don't know if you guys see that. So that means that the 45-year-old is 3 times as old as the 15-year-old. Because 0 means that person ain't on the earth yet, right? They ain't roaming the earth yet. So 0 has to mean what it's supposed to mean, and if that's true, that actually is what makes the division make sense too. So ratio, 0 means what it's supposed to mean, the absence of thing, whatever I'm measuring. That's why Celsius and Fahrenheit aren't ratio, because 0 doesn't mean the absence of all energy or heat. And you get colder, so that's why it's not ratio. Yes?
So if you wrote more on the reason, you want to write both.
No. More means the answer to the question is always the highest level it is. Every ratio is also interval. It's also ordinal. It's also nominal. So like, there goes that 28-year-old dude that was in, that's his name. 28, 29, 30. It's an order it wants to be in, right? 28 minus 30, or 20 minus 20 is 8. So they're 8 years apart. I mean, all the shit works. So you always list the highest thing it gets to, the highest level.
So ratio is also discrete but continuous as well.
Yeah, the discrete and continuous doesn't really come into that.
But
Yeah, but it's both. Yeah. So number of doors on a car, is that
That's
discrete or
ratio.
continuous?
discrete.
It's discrete because if you have 3.289 doors on your car,
But that's also
what kind of car do you
ratio.
have?
Correct. That's also ratio.
Totally. So they have nothing to do with each other. Don't
I
try
know
to.
they don't have.
There's like weights of backpacks.
You put on my test that's more discrete than continuous, and I was trying to understand that.
Well, the
Or
question
the
was.
number of the
Woodpeckers, yeah.
the peckers.
Yes.
So the number of is ratio.
Number of is
But
almost always
it's-
ratio.
Yeah.
Because that means that somebody
They
has
can be
twice as
zero
many of that thing as
or
somebody
it
else.
can- Yeah.
Yeah, and 0 would mean there were 0 of
There are
those
no-
things.
yeah.
Exactly. So like fish length. So we got a 2-inch fish and an 8-inch fish, but this is 4 times as large. And as if I said I caught a 0-inch fish, that's another way of saying I didn't catch any damn fish, right? That's the absence of fish. 0 inches long. Yummy. It's gonna be good, yummy. Don't like fish, by the way. So. I would not. That would be perfect for me. 0-inch fish. And anything else. This is a great time to let it out. Whatever the hell doesn't make sense, even if I've talked about it 18 times, it's fine to ask, especially today. Or come see me in my office. Yes?
So, for the thing on the board, if you always go backwards for Q1, will you always find Q3?
Totally. However far Q1 is 25% of the way in. That's 75% of the way in, which means it's 25% of the way from the end. So however many you counted in for this guy, you start at the end and count in for this guy. They have to be symmetric. Now, is that such a huge shortcut? Not really, but it's nice to realize. It does save a little bit of time. Yes, sir. Oh, I forgot to explain why it's a parameter. I just went right to making it a statistic. So why is that a parameter, that statement in number 11? Oh, yeah. It's describing a population then. Sorry? Oh, I just made the shit up. I said, how would you change it to be a statistic? So that's how I would change it. You could say 42% of a sample of randomly selected Americans. You don't have to be specific. It's just like the 44-45 problems where you can kind of make up your own thing if you wanted to. It just has to show me you understand the idea. Statistic relates to a sample. So I just happen to pick a specific size sample. You don't have to. Does that make sense? That's a really, like, holy shit, where did 831 come? I understand that. I'm sorry. But the important thing is that change it to a statistic by making it reference a sample, not the population.
So a parameter has to do the population.
You gotta love that shit, right? Parameter, population. I don't know if everybody really got that. I mean, you're all in the spit zone, sorry. Sample is statistic. You gotta love that. Shit. Anybody ever taken trigonometry? You remember, like, cosecant is 1 over sine. You're like, what the freak? Why can't it be 1 over cosine? C, right? C is S and S is C. But here's statistic sample. Parameter pop. Oh, the way it should be. If you didn't take trig, don't worry. You're fine. You don't have to know it. I didn't bring anything by the way besides formula sheet stuff. So it really depends on what questions you guys have. Everybody is waiting to see if somebody asks a question. It really, really is up to you guys. If you don't have any more questions, you don't have to sit here staring at me if you don't want to. Right? But nobody wants to leave because you're like, somebody might ask you a question that helps me. Oh, shit.
I'm just looking on the corner that I'm not solid on this, some of the stuff, and that's on me. So it's not necessarily a question.
Don't forget, let me remind you guys, if you are nowhere near done with the homework and the test is this Wednesday, don't try to get every single problem done. Start to do some out of the next. You don't want to come in having done no homework in section 2.7. You've guaranteed you're going to die on that question, right? So do what you can. Turn that in. I'm going to be all like, finish this shit. You know, you're going to. I had to do what I had to do for the test. That's great. That's how that works. Yeah. Oh. They're on the syllabus? Tomorrow is Tuesday.
It's like 12 o'clock.
So I always have office hours right before this class.
Far at the bottom.
There you are. Is that,
Do you have office hours tomorrow?
yeah.
What time?
6:30. Right before I have another 7 a.m. class tomorrow. And then, it's not my head, I can't remember. It's going to be
I
on the
have a
syllabus.
quick question because I don't want to come tomorrow.
Yes.
So